lunch bucket, floppy-haired white guy with the.
It's that type of stuff that I love. I don't like too cool for school type of players, bro. I don't like this type of stuff from a superstar is what I personally appreciate. I don't like players that act like they too cool to do certain things. They play hard. I hate that shit, bro. It's certain players I can't stand to watch, bro. I cannot stand to watch. I actually wish I was able to watch this man live, because I can't stand watching some players. I'm not a hater, but I'm just saying some players act like they are too cool and too nonchalant to do certain shit, man. Shout out to Larry fucking Bird. It's your time, it's his time, it's Bam's time. Bam's time to shine. Anyways, we back at it again. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, a courtship of rivals basketball, part 2. Hopefully I can wrap it up right here. But if I don't, it's going to be a part 3. Let's get straight into this video. I'm doing this for y'all. Y'all wanted me to do this. I'm doing this for y'all. I'm giving this to y'all. Let's get straight to it.
I knew it was going to haunt him forever because we were going to see each other a lot.
The National Basketball Association, in its 33rd season, is troubled by diminishing crowds and declining television ratings, signs that fan interest may be waning.
If college basketball was flourishing at the end of the 1970s, the pro game was crumbling. After the golden era of Bill Russell and Jerry West in the 1960s, a merger with the ABA in 1976 had led not only to new teams, but a new temperament.
Whoa.
It was a new league with new times, with renegades.
Bro, look how they squaring up. Look how they squaring up.
It was a new league with new times.
They like, you feel me? You know?
With
they really waiting on the first person to throw a punch.
Renegades, with individuals.
There was an argument made, plausibly, I think, that it was too black a league for the United States of America in the late 1970s.
Too black a league is crazy.
The Knickerbockers at the time. The running joke was it was the Knickerbockers. You know, that's what it was. It was the N-word.
It's turning off a lot of white customers that are coming to the game, you know.
Why?
I think there's a conflict between the white and the black, and I don't enjoy going to basketball and seeing all black players.
I mean, I think when they said too black, they meant not just in terms of color, but in terms of style. Let me get mine, and the hell with yours.
Basketball for us was about the best moves. You wanted to be that big player that everybody talked about. You wanted to be the one. You didn't think about winning championships or team play.
And those were just the issues on the court.
The NBA had this image.
This is what I was saying. I know y'all said in the comments. I sometimes, you know, try to understand, but this is what I was talking about when I said the Isaiah Thomas shit. Again, Isaiah Thomas wasn't hating on Brown when he said what he said about the professional shit. I don't think he was hating at all, but y'all was doing drugs. Not saying you were specifically, but y'all was doing drugs. Your era was doing drugs heavy. It doesn't matter if that was what it was at the time. It doesn't matter if we reversed it, y'all wouldn't be giving the new players that today. You know what I'm saying? And not every player obviously was a part of that shit. We ain't about to put every last player in that category, you know, but just for the sake of argument, y'all era was doing drugs. You didn't shake people's hands after the game. You didn't shake Jordan's hand. It doesn't matter if your team didn't do it. You could have said fuck with your team. I mean, I get that's your team, but you still could have shook Jordan's hand in them, just how he shook his hand when he shook y'all hands when he lost 3 straight times or 2 straight times. So that was unprofessional. That's all I'm saying, bro. You know, I think that's fair. These are facts of what I'm saying. Again, Isaiah Thomas wasn't hating, but for you to come from the drug era and to do the shit that y'all did when y'all got your ass whipped by Michael Jordan after y'all was whipping his ass for 3 straight years, that's unprofessional to me. Just saying.
An all-black league with a bunch of guys who did drugs.
It was just black guys doing drugs?
They had no sponsors. And that's pretty much a death knell right there.
It's a known fact that you need your white superstars. You just need more white ball players on the team for the white fans to identify with.
Shout out Larry Bird.
And in the newest member of the Boston Celtics, that's exactly what the league appeared to be getting.
There's hope he can help solve professional basketball's difficulties, which some say are compounded by a question of black and white.
The Great White Hope. What does that mean?
Well, you know, it's very hard to say because there's a lot of great white players around, and I just hope that I can just fit in as well as some of them that has fit in.
He ran away from that designation.
Shout out Larry
He
Bird,
made it
man.
very clear, almost from day one, that he was not the Great White Hope.
You know, the great players are the black players, and they're the best.
Such deference meant little to black Celtics like Curtis Rowe, Sidney Wicks, and Cedric Maxwell, who looked at Bird and saw not the Great White Hope, but another case of Great White hype.
He didn't impress me no more than any white guy I've ever seen play before. I think that you would say that most black players at the time were racist, in the sense that we did not think that you could find a white guy who could play better than any black guy.
Again, I'm about unity. I'm not one of them people that do believe. As a kid, I did say that actually, you know, a black person can't be racist just because of what black people have went through, what they are still going. It's not how it was back then. I was one of them people. But then, as I get older, there are things you can say that are disrespectful. That this white man or this white woman had nothing to do with what you went through back in the day. But I do think some things aren't racist though. I don't want to make this about race. I don't think if a white man says he prefers to marry a white woman, he's not racist for saying that. If a black man says he prefers to marry a black woman, not a white woman, he's not racist. I think racist is used too loosely these days. You get what I'm saying? Larry Bird, if he said, you know, I'd rather just do that because I'll feel more at home or I'll feel more accepted, you know, the culture or whatever, he's not racist for saying that. You feel what I'm saying? There's certain jokes me and my good white friend, his name is well, we haven't talked in years, but when we talked in years, but when we were like this though, when we played basketball together and stuff, we used to always have talks. I remember we both lost our girlfriends the same day. We was at basketball practice chopping it up. That was my guy. Shout out Carson, man. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time he made a joke to me saying, he said, "You don't like watermelon?" I said, "Nah, you think that because I'm black?" He said, "Yeah." We both started laughing. Like, you know, certain shit we don't take seriously, bro. It's just a joke. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm one of them people. I do believe in treating white people with respect, as long as they treat me with respect. Just because your ancestors did shit to me, that don't mean you're gonna do shit to me or shit to my people. That don't mean you're just like them. It's changed. Yes, is there still certain things racist? Have I experienced racism from the? Yes, I have. Have I been racist to something? No. But I'm gonna give you a chance to show me who you are. You could actually be a real cool ass person. We can learn from each other. I'm about unity, but I'm also about respect. And I do think the certain things is used way too loosely these days. Racism isn't the only word. The word insecure is used too loosely these days. You set a boundary with somebody and they'll call you insecure because you set the boundary. You get what I'm saying? I think we don't be understanding what certain words really mean. I just have to get that off my chest. Let's continue though.
When I walk in the first day of camp, them guys were on the floor stretching, and here comes the white savior, here comes this, here comes that.
Yeah, like we don't have to say that. Say we have Larry Bird now. He's gonna turn this shit up for us. Maybe we were struggling or whatever. You feel me? Don't do that, you know. And like I said, I get it because of what history has dealt. It's almost like, I mean, how can you say that about us? Look what we've went through. I understand that 100%. But Larry Bird, if he hasn't done nothing to us, he's good with us. Now, if he has brothers and sisters who feel differently than he feel, then I ain't gonna lie, forget his brother and sister. We focused on him because he accepts us and we're gonna accept him.
I sort of enjoyed it.
Okay.
I was gonna battle them all day.
Okay.
Curtis and Sidney didn't last long. They didn't even make it through the first practice. They were cut. So then it was just Cedric.
I'm thinking, oh, he's slow, he can't get off a shot. He's not that strong. This is gonna be a layup. Bam, knocks down a jump shot. Okay, maybe that was luck. Gets the ball again.
High ass shorts. Is he wearing drawers, bro?
Now I'm thinking like, okay, hey, You know what? I'm finna D this guy up. I'm gonna show him his life. 20 feet away, bam. 25 feet away, bam. My mind just goes to the, damn, this white guy can play.
Even saying that, damn, this white guy can play. I saw someone in the again, I've been reading the comments as of late. Sometimes I don't, just because I'm focused on getting hella vids, but I do want to hear y'all opinions. That was a normal thing to say. I saw someone say, we don't really acknowledge racism when it happens. That was a normal thing. Like, that's why I say in today's time, you really got to be so, you got to really watch what you say. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a thing. And then people say, well, what if he said this black guy can play? The reason why that saying is because that sport was dominated mainly by the Kareem, the Wilts, you know, the black men. So when you saw a white guy that someone of another race was hooping, like, damn, bro. That's where we got the term. If you playing like AAU, you go to a tournament and you're playing a team that has predominantly white players, we just know we gotta. This is what we know. We know we have to guard them straight up, man to man, because they can shoot. You feel what I'm saying? That was a thing. I had a white coach who told us that. White coach married to a white woman, white kids and everything. He told us that. It was a different time, but I get it. Everybody's not going to understand that. So you have to kind of be a little more lenient to how people going to feel and think. Not lenient, but you have to kind of think about how other people going to feel when you say certain things. It's, you know, I don't, just like the watermelon thing. My friend assumed I like watermelon because I was black. I said, I don't like watermelon. You think I like watermelon because I'm black? He said, yeah. Straight up. I didn't get mad. I don't take certain shit personally. Now, if you say certain things, I'm like, hey, bro, hold on. But that, I didn't take that personally. I know black people who would have took that personally. I didn't. It was a joke. We laughed about it.
It was a good thing, too. The storied Celtics might have been the winningest team in NBA history, but they were fresh off their worst season in 30 years.
Damn, worst season in 30 years?
And in Bird, they had a player who was not only supremely talented, but tough enough to take on any challenge.
Hell yeah.
I always played like everybody in the world was against me.
Look at Larry Bird. Look how he swung on him.
Larry
Bird wasn't done. Larry Bird, bro. Look how he swung on him, though. He wasn't a bitch, though. You couldn't bitch him. But that punch you just threw was manly. I don't know what that was.
Hey, this is my friend, and this guy was a pretty good sized guy. By golly, they go out back, and the guy turns and says something to Larry. And I mean, Larry hit this guy, and I caught him. Hit him so hard, I go, whoa. He was from the old school.
Look at Larry Bird,
that's
man.
How he played.
Larry Bird plays it to the hilt, baby. Played the game hard. Played rough.
There was no frills about him.
Larry Bird wasn't backing down. Look at Larry Bird. He wasn't backing down. You could have backed Larry Bird back down. Hold on.
Larry Bird plays it to the hilt, baby.
And what?
Played rough.
Larry Bird like, you ain't gonna bitch me. You can bitch everybody else. You will not bitch me.
There was no frills about him. He came in, he threw elbows. There was nothing smooth about Larry.
Nothing smooth at all, but he played hard. Look at that shit, bro. I love it. I love superstars that play hard.
Like that. They're hardworking people. They like that's how people view them, and that's what Larry was.
Good shot. He got his own rebound and put it back in. Come on, stop playing with him.
They also like
winners. Oh, good D.
And when Bird led the Celtics to the NBA championship in just his second season, he was finally one of those too. Boston loved Larry Bird. It just wasn't so clear at first how much Bird loved the city back.
There's only one place I'd rather be, French Lick. Thank you.
Man, Larry was almost agoraphobic in his treatment of anything outside his hometown.
He wanted to be the Wizard of Oz. He wanted to intimidate people and keep them at bay. The further we are away from each other, the more I like it.
I had a nice little house. I had my little yard. I want to go from there to practice back. If we had a game coming up, I want to go there to the game and back home. It was all basketball. My whole life was basketball.
If he was just sitting there with just me, you were looking around mumbling, trying to find things that we had in common that we could talk about. Now, we started talking about basketball, started talking about players, it was, it was great. U.S. history? Nope.
You know, we forced passes, we made errors down the stretch.
Daily events? Nope.
I made the shot, and from then on we was up by 2, and they had to get back in the game, which they did.
Politics? Nope.
Try to not do anything I can't do or do no more than what I can do. I just go out and try to do my basic game.
He proudly dubbed himself the Hick from French Lick, and he looked every bit the part. But those who played him for simple did so at their own peril.
One of the great ways, I think, of winding up with no money in your pocket is to think Larry Bird is dumb. Syntax is not intelligence. Unlettered is not stupid.
He's got a great sense of humor. He just didn't show that to people.
Kevin
that didn't
McHale.
mean he didn't have it.
Big
He did,
ass
however,
dog.
allow the public one small indulgence.
You could come out on Saturday and watch him mow his lawn.
Huge crowds toward the stop. Larry Bird's cutting grass in front of his house. It's like he's mowing his lawn in the springtime.
Larry is about doing things himself. And I think it's one of the things that made him so beloved in Boston.
But as Bird navigated through his new world, he still had one eye fixed on a familiar foe in a faraway land.
He wanted to get him.
What tripped me out was I'm riding in the limo, and I'm seeing orange trees and lemon trees in people's front yards. I said, stop, I gotta go pick an orange. Are you crazy? I said, no, I gotta do this. And so I ran up like a scared little kid, grabbed the orange and ran back to the limo. I'd never seen an orange tree. I'd never seen a lemon tree.
I don't think I've ever seen an orange tree in my life, bro.
When 20-year-old Irvin Johnson arrived in Los Angeles in the fall of 1979, he was a world away from Lansing, the only home he'd ever known. He was the #1 pick of the LA Lakers, a once dominant franchise stuck in mediocrity. In the stoic Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Lakers had talent.
Changed the franchise, changed the temperament. I changed it from the very first game. Here it was, the first game of a long season against the lowly Clippers. And Magic was embracing Kareem as if
Clippers still and will always be the little brother in LA.
they'd just won their 10th straight championship. It was like, man, this
10
is a
straight?
different kind of dude.
From the day he arrived, he became the Prince of the City. He reminded me of a guy who wakes up without an alarm clock. And that's what I used to always say. I want to be happy enough to wake up without an alarm clock because I want to go into my work.
I want y'all to pay close attention to what this man just said, bro. Listen.
I used to always say, I want to be happy enough to wake up without an alarm clock because I want to go into my work.
I want to be happy enough to wake up without an alarm clock because I want to go into my work. Bro, whatever you're doing, whatever you're striving for, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I'm dead ass. I'm talking to you. Whatever you're striving for, keep that in mind. You want to be able to wake up without an alarm clock because you're happy to go into your work. Keep that in mind, bro. That's some game right there.
He had it, what it is. As far as I was concerned, the it was not his ability or his size. The it was his attitude, was his leadership, was his mind. I mean, I don't have to talk about Game 6 at Philadelphia.
Magic Johnson will shove.
In his rookie season, Magic had helped lead the Lakers to the NBA Finals against the Philadelphia 76ers. In Game 6, with an injured Abdul-Jabbar back home in LA, Magic played all 5 positions, scored 42 points, grabbed 15 rebounds, and dished out 7 assists, leading the Lakers to the championship. In just 4 years, he had won titles in high school, college, and the pros.
He was a winner.
Magic, what do you have that makes you perform like this in these championship games?
Well, I don't know. Just I love to win. Across the masthead of the Los Angeles Times the next day, it said, "It's Magic."
He was a star when he first arrived here, coming off the NC2A game. And quickly, during that first season, he became one of the stars in town. But that game put him on another level. That made him the star in town.
It's funny how I wanted to meet the celebrities, but they wanted to meet me. I was like shocked.
Muhammad Ali, look at Michael Jackson.
Wow, you know who I am?
He was young, famous, and after Lakers owner Jerry Buss signed him to a 25-year, $25 million contract, very rich.
Wait, what?
Jerry Buss signed him to a 25-year,
25-year, $25 million, 25 years?
$5 million contract, very rich. The kid from Lansing was ready to sample a different kind of fruit.
I mean, this is
His playboy boss
1979, but
knew
25
Old
years?
trees.
Like, 25 years? I never heard of a contract 25 years. I think I heard 20. I'm pretty sure I heard the word 25 years. And I also, 25 million at this time was probably, even with the taxes after, great. It's still great money, period, even in today's time. But that's extremely great back then.
I said, oh, I'm hanging with him. When they were coming into the box and he had 10, 20 of them, and look, Irvin, which one you want? And I was like, oh, okay, it's like that? And then he said, I'm going to take you to the Playboy Mansion. What? The mansion? No, you kidding.
This nigga, man.
So, yep. So I went there, and my first time, I'm backing up like, I can't believe I'm in, but I'm backing up away. You know, it's like, I'm scared to death. Probably 10 guys to 100 women, you know. Everybody think it's sex-driven, but it's really not. You have dinner, then you watch the latest movie. And then, of course, I don't want to ever say that sex wasn't involved, because if you meet somebody, that's what you wanted to do, you did that. But it's really a great experience to go up there. So, yeah, I had fun there.
He came to L.A. like the Pied Piper. You know, people were giving him this and giving him that. But, he stayed pretty grounded to the game.
Everybody was getting high then, but you can't even smoke a joint around Magic.
He had real old school, down in the trenches work ethic. And that was honed in him by his dad, Irvin Johnson Sr.
Magic was always this guy. He never did none of that, so I did everything for him.
Magic Johnson was living on a natural high. He was starring in the role of a lifetime, point guard of a Hollywood team with an offense called Showtime. He even had the alter ego perfect for the production.
I mean, Magic was his stage name. Even he would laugh about it.
Well, he always says there's two people. There's Irvin Johnson from East Lansing, and there's Magic Johnson from Hollywood.
Irvin Johnson is another guy. Here's Magic over here, and here's Irvin over here.
Irvin is this fun-loving guy. Magic was so serious and dedicated to his game, and he was a crazy, crazy competitor and a crazy man.
Irvin, I think, is the smiling kid from Lansing. I think Irvin died about 25 minutes after the NCAA championship game.
Irvin doesn't have the ego that Magic has. Magic got a crazy ego, and winning is everything.
And Irvin wanted to, along with Magic, conquer LA.
After having led the Lakers to 2 NBA titles in their first 4 years in town, Magic and Irvin were well on their way.
I think Magic wanted to be friends with Larry Bird. He wanted to be friends with him on the World Invitational Tournament, and Larry just wasn't very receptive. I think he wanted to be friends with him during the Final Four. Larry wouldn't even go over and shake his hand. So now Magic's saying, well, what's with this guy? Everybody loves me. How come you don't love me? And then they get to their rookie year, the first time they play each other, well, they have a very hard foul. And they have to be separated a little bit. And Magic's like, all right, well, the heck with this guy. You don't like me? Fine. All right, good. I don't like you either.
He's a very competitive player, and I'm a very competitive player, and we go head to head, and we go for blood almost.
The vibe was nasty. It was ugly. It was we didn't like each other.
I'm the one that did all that. To tell you the truth, I just don't want to be hanging around him. I mean, that's my main competition.
And he couldn't escape the memory of losing to him in 1979.
Oh, it ate at him bad that he didn't win that national title against Magic. That was something, it just burned him.
It was one thing for them to be in the 79 championship. Magic had the better team. Everybody agreed with that. Magic had the better game. Fine. Now you get to the pros. Larry has this incredible year.
Bird, a runner,
But there he is watching in a club while Magic Johnson wins a championship, and he's thinking, all right, I'm behind 2-0 now.
I watched that game and I couldn't believe it. I always wanted to play at that level.
But what Bird couldn't possibly have known was that he had inspired Magic's performance when he was named Rookie of the Year earlier that same day.
The PR person from the Lakers says, hey, Irvin, the Rookie of the Year voting has come out. And Magic says, okay, well, who won? He said, well, Larry Bird won. And Magic says, well, was it close? And he said, oh, no.
Whoa.
He went out that day,
3 votes? How? You think? I guess he just was, I don't know. He must have been killing them. Like, do you think Magic was killing too if he got them to the NBA Finals? But I guess he's playing with Kareem too. He probably just did good enough while playing with Kareem, and then when Kareem went down, he took over in the NBA Finals, 42, 15, and 7, or whatever they said. Probably was killing the whole playoffs too. So, but Larry Bird probably didn't have the best team his rookie year. I know he had Kevin McHale and some other people. I don't know if that was his rookie year or not. Correct me if I'm wrong, because yeah, maybe that's what it was. He didn't have that good of a team, so that's why he put up maybe better numbers. I don't know. Hey, okay.
Just to try to win the NBA championship, but also to prove it to one Larry Bird. You know what? I should have been Rookie of the Year.
Even though I won the championship, I still wanted to win Rookie of the Year too.
He won that championship. I was pissed. I want him one.
But even after he had won one the next year, his obsession only grew deeper.
I'd get up in the mornings and see what he did because their games came on late. Then you look at the box score. I had to have him there for some reason. It's like a crutch. I had to have him.
Field goal 6 of 12, free throw 1 on 1, rebounds 11, assists 13, points 2. Is that 2? Oh,
I'm there for some reason. It's like a crutch. Somebody I can compare myself to.
I hated what was being said that Larry was better than me, and I'm just a guy who can control the game. My first 4 or 5 years, that bothered me a lot. I didn't tell nobody it bothered me, but it did.
Their competitive dislike emerged from a greater truth, that on the court, they were doppelgangers. Team-oriented stars who cared about winning above all else. Basketball savants who fused the substance of the 60s with the style of the 70s.
Body his ass!
An exciting yet selfless way
Good pass, Larry.
In the 1980s.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass. But I'm gonna pass in a way to make you look like a jackass. They were so similar in the way they competed. I mean, they were two halves of the same brain.
Same craziness to excel.
I seen that first couple days I was with him.
Basketball IQ off the chart.
Seen the game a little different, most players.
Playing the game the right way was everything.
A lot of guys can just score, a lot of guys can just rebound. A lot of guys can just make plays. We can do it all.
Larry and Magic could control the game with 12 shots. It was amazing. They'd be 7 for 12. They'd have 20 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists. And you go, man, the guy shot the ball 12 times and was the best player on the court by far.
I think it was tough at first. I don't think either one of them wanted to recognize that they had any equal anywhere in what they did. But they sure as hell didn't want to recognize that their equal happened to be that other guy.
That's why we hated each other too, because we knew we were mirrors of each other.
I think for a while the two of them had to come to grips with that.
They had begun changing the game, but with continued low television ratings and tape-delayed finals, the league was struggling to get the word out. When the NBA and CBS signed a new TV deal before the 82-83 season, the rescue plan was simple: sell more Bird and Magic, and sell them not just as ball players.
And this is where the entertainment thing comes into play, man. This is where now it's not really about, I ain't gonna say it's not about your talent, but entertainment now. Because right now the NBA Finals right now is basketball, right? You know, you got Thunder and Pacers, two teams that people probably didn't care to see in the finals. You probably wanted to see maybe the Warriors back. You want to see the Timberwolves or the Lakers, or as far as the East goes, you probably wanted to see who the fuck in the East. I don't think the Bucks will ever win again or get back there, to be honest. I think they did what they were supposed to do in 2021, win, because this is your time. You want to see Kyrie and them, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you want to see certain people in the NBA Finals, because, you know, that's what's going to sell. So this is probably the first stint where it's about entertainment. That's why when you watch these talk shows, they be ignoring certain shit. They want to go to drama versus talking about what the fuck happened in the game.
But his arch
some of them, not all of them. Shout out to some talk shows. Y'all know who y'all are.
You got this slick Showtime African-American guy out west, and you got the lunch bucket, floppy
Look at Larry Bird, bro. Hustle. Good hustle.
Casting, it's perfect.
I mean, this was like made.
White guy with the African-American
Look
guy
at this.
out west, and you got the lunch bucket, floppy-haired white guy with the.
It's that type of stuff that I love. I don't like too cool for school type of players, bro. I don't like this type of stuff from a superstar is what I personally appreciate. I don't like players that act like they too cool to do certain things. They play hard. I hate that shit, bro. It's certain players I can't stand to watch, bro. I cannot stand to watch. I actually wish I was able to watch this man live, because I can't stand watching some players. I'm not a hater, but I'm just saying some players act like they are too cool and too nonchalant to do certain shit, man. Shout out to Larry fucking Bird, man.
Bruises all over his body. It's central casting. It's perfect.
I mean, this was like made in heaven. In 1979, this idea of Magic Bird was created. And so that was sort of a no-brainer. We'd have a doubleheader. It would be the Celtics playing first and the Lakers playing second. And that's the way we did it.
And when the Celtics and Lakers both reached the finals just a year into the new TV deal in 1984, it appeared the superstar investment was about to pay off.
It was huge. It was probably the biggest moment the NBA had up to that point. You had Boston and LA, East against West. It had all the elements of a classic showdown.
Including what was becoming the most inescapable element of all.
Did we know that blacks and whites were lining up, the whites with the Celtics, the blacks with... Of course we knew that.
Even in the Celtics' own backyard.
They land at Logan Airport at the '84 finals. He's getting accosted by various people who are telling him Larry's going to take him down. But this one older African-American gentleman comes up to me and goes, "Magic, I want to wish you well. Good luck. I want you to crush the Celtics." And he said, "Oh, well, where are you from?" He said, "Well, I'm from Boston." And he said, "You're from Boston and you're rooting for the Lakers? I thought everybody here was crazy about the Celtics." And he looked right at me and said, "Now, why would I root for those white boys?"
Boston, after all, was a town still scarred by the ugly busing crisis of the mid-'70s. A violent period of still scarred by the ugly...
Again, this is why I say what I say sometimes. It's some people who don't forget this type. They accept it and move on, but they don't forget what happened. Because it's easy to look at it now in hindsight like, man, it happened, let it go. Because change is here. Change has definitely happened. There are white people who are ashamed at other whites for doing this. That's change. That's what I like to see. Now, I'm not about to say welcome, whatever racial term that they use against white people. I'm not about to do that. Like, obviously in today's time, clearly not going to do it. But I don't approve of that. If the blacks had said welcome white people or welcome, what's the word that they use? And I'm not calling no white people this. I'm just trying to think of a word that that white people were called back in the day. So don't try to say that I'm calling them this, because I'm not. I repeat, I am not calling them this. I should even have to put that disclosure out there. What if the blacks said welcome crackers or some shit like that? I wouldn't be with that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's in retaliation to them saying this in 1980 and I'm in the 80s, then I can't really get mad at them for doing that. But as of today, right now, I don't call no white person that. Don't call a white person who's done no harm to you that. Treat them with the utmost respect. And y'all treat us with respect. Unity. Keeping unity, you know what I'm saying? Just treat each other with respect. You never, one of your greatest friends can come from that side. You never know. You can learn a lot. Family can actually, you know what I'm saying? That's how I am with that shit. But like I said, I'm not making this about race. I'm just being real. I'm not about to react to this and not give y'all my real opinion. You feel what I'm saying? I don't like, like this type of shit is what some people who are 70 and 80 years old right now, they just can't forget. They'll never forget it. They'll put it, they'll move past it and understand we're in a different time. I'm living, I got great grandkids, da. But I was around for this. So I have a different opinion on y'all opinion who are just seeing about it and hearing about it versus being there and witnessing it. You know what I'm saying? We got to treat each other with respect.
Busing crisis of the mid-70s. A violent period of urban unrest during which white had been pitted against black. The resulting taint on the city nationally, coupled with a Boston roster littered with white players, affirmed to many black Americans that the Celtics were not the team for them.
Even today, people said, you played with the Celtics. And, I hated you at that time. I wanted Magic to win. I didn't want that damn Larry Bird to win. We had all these black players, but they looked at us because we had Larry Bird leading us as a team that was white.
They were perfect archetypes for what was becoming the biggest story in sports. But for the real-life players, the narrative was much simpler.
It's finally going to happen. We get to go head-to-head again. It's just a matter of rolling that ball out there and let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
Welcome then to the Boston Garden and the start of the NBA World Championship Series. I'm Brent Musburger. In each of the last 4 NBA World Championship Series, either Magic or Bird has competed. But this is the first time that the two have gone head-to-head for the title.
Man, we jumped out on them that first game, and we won in Boston.
And with less than a minute to go in Game 2, the Lakers were closing in on a commanding series lead.
What happened? Oh!
From that point on, things began to crumble.
Down to 9 seconds. Magic holding the ball. Magic trying to work on Maxwell. Magic has still got it down to 2 seconds. 1 second. He's going to have to shoot it. He doesn't get it off. He does. 2 seconds. 1 second. Magic trying to work on Maxwell. Magic has still got it down to 2 seconds.
Why you ain't just pass it?
Down to 9 seconds. Magic holding the ball.
Fundamental basketball at its finest. Keep the ball, keep the player on your hip. Don't dribble in front of him. But why he ain't just? I mean, it's no spacing. It's like, look at this shit. It's 3 motherfuckers right here. Like, and then Kareem is calling for that. Like, he got to be out here so he can give a proper entry pass and let him do the sky hook. If they collapse, these guys got to be ready to shoot or something.
Work on Maxwell. Magic has still got it down to 2 seconds. 1 second. He's going to have to.
That wasn't even bro's fault. Magic passed it to him at the last second. That was Magic's fault. That was Magic's fault.
Johnson dribbling the timeout.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
The Lakers regained their stride in Game 3, only to be rudely knocked off it again in Game 4.
Damn!
And now let's watch it. Cooper and the Celtics, and now the bench is empty.
When Kurt Rambis got taken out,
Lord have mercy.
We started fighting instead of playing.
Kareem swings the elbow and now is yelling at Larry Bird. Jaw to jaw.
And it made us realize we were not mentally tougher than the Celtics.
Magic's just not himself.
To be sure they won't let the time run out as they did in Game 2.
Just dribbling the ball again. No space. Look at this shit. No spacing. It's like you at the 3-point. He got to walking down to the block. You trying to pass it. It's like.
Harris steals the ball and the Celtics call a timeout.
There are a number of places where, Irvin didn't do what people expected him to do.
Tied at 123. He misses the first. Johnson misses them both.
Why is this shot? This is the 80s, I guess, bro.
Johnson misses them both. Celtics want a timeout. Despondent, Magic Johnson goes to the bench. Bird turnaround, hits.
Game 5 went to the Celtics. Game 6 to the Lakers. It was like 1979 all over again. Down to one game for Bird and Magic.
If everybody had to look at it, probably would have said this is going to be a 7-game series.
No, I thought we'd sweep them in 4, but just went a little bit longer now.
That boy Larry Bird, that man didn't give a fuck. He said, I thought we'd sweep him in 4, to be honest. That's what he wanted to do, but shit, I'll take, as long as I win, fuck it. That's how he looking at it.
Do it in 7.
Guess I gotta do it in 7. Big shit talking.
That's the only time I ever felt that. There ain't no way they're walking out here with a win.
Magic Johnson.
No way.
No way.
Lakers have several chances, and here's Larry Bird.
Good pass.
Chucking down the court. Bird. How does he do it? Now Johnson with the ball. The Lakers trying to cut it to 1. And he loses it. Now Johnson with the ball. The Lakers trying to cut it to 1.
Magic, it's a lot of players guarding you right here. What you did in game 2, where you passed it to bro at the last second, this would have made more sense to kick out. You have bro at the 3-point line right here, I think. Yeah, right?
Johnson with the ball. The Lakers trying to cut it to 1.
You have my man right here. I don't know if he could shoot, but shit, that's better than you shooting over 3 people. You couldn't shoot either. You know, no disrespect, you're Magic Johnson, but you couldn't shoot either. So, man, like what you did that game, you should have passed there. And there was no foul. He did this like there was a foul. Larry Bird happy as shit right now.
The Boston Celtics are the NBA World Champions.
This when they started calling him Tragic Johnson or no?
I pride myself in being the guy who's going to win it for us and deliver under pressure. And it didn't happen.
I hope he was hurting. Hope it killed him. He made some bad plays down the stretch, and nobody in there was happier than me. You know, not only winning the game makes you feel good, but just knowing the other guy's suffering, and you know he was.
I remember after the game that both he and I were in.
That man, Larry Bird, did not care. He said, I hope he's suffering, bro. Anyways, we're going to patch the video. I don't want to make this too long for y'all. Appreciate those who've tuned in, man. We got, after this video is going to be I should finish it up next in part 3. Then after that, we getting on some other shit, man. I got a couple of bangers for y'all dropping real soon. Basketball videos, and documentaries are coming. For those that aren't, I'm doing documentaries on my favorite celebrity players, music artists, all that shit. So, you know, stay tuned for those. Anyways, rest in peace to Kari, ex, my grandma, both our grandmas, and I'm gone, man. Bam time.